And I mean, we first saw these beauties back in 2022, and I kept seeing some images, so I was always wondering, like, where are they? Hello Barbie lovers and beyond, and welcome back to my channel. This is Marina the 90s Barbie, and in this channel we do tons of amazing stuff related to Barbie, so don't forget to subscribe if you don't want to miss out. And oh my wow, look at who's here. So just in case you don't recognize them, these are the 2022 OPP mermaids, aka opening price point mermaids or budget mermaids. And honestly, I don't know where they've been. I have seen some people online have these dolls, but for the last 3 years, at least in my country, Greece, they have been MIA, honey. And I mean, we first saw these beauties back in 2022, and I kept seeing some images, so I was always wondering, like, where are they? Well, they're here now. They showed up at our stores here like a week ago. So as a mermaid lover, a Barbie collector who adores mermaids, and a mermaid at heart, I had to have them. Now these beauties are, non-surprisingly, designed by the amazing, talented designer and mermaid expert, I'd say, Angel Kent, the person who's been giving us the best mermaids we've seen in the last decade for Barbie. So yeah, thank you, Angel. I really wanted to add these girls to my collection too, as I have all the other mermaids, and it finally happened. So in today's video, we're gonna take a closer look at them, see what they're all about, and also talk about some interesting stuff about them because, you know, I believe there are some interesting facts, so I really want to talk about them and hear your opinions on them. And of course, like I said, I'm really happy to have them. So without any further ado, let's get right into them. Okay, our mers are out. And some things to note right off the bat here, these are really cute mermaids. I mean, not surprising considering who designed them, but still, those are supposed to be the budget versions, so I don't know, they look beautiful. And one thing I have to note is that other than Millie, both of them have vintage faces. This girl sports the Tori face mold, which was also used in the first Barbie official Dreamtopia wave by Angel, so it's the second time we're seeing it. And this time we also have the fabulous Asha. So wonderful. Like 2 out of the 3 have vintage faces, and this feels sort of like a treat. I'm really happy about that. Their fins click into place in the same way that they do for most modern mermaid Barbies and don't seem to be interchangeable after that. They look beautiful together. I had to do like a closer look before we begin because they are so pretty. However, one thing I did want to mention is that here in Greece at least, these girls had the same exact prices as the latest wave of the Barbie core mermaids. So yeah, this to me was sort of interesting because I can see some really positive traits even now before we check them out individually. But again, these are supposed to be the budget mermaids, so I don't know what's up with the same pricing. I did get them, of course, because they are mermaids and I had to have them in my collection. But yeah, we're gonna check them out and see if the price, is justified. And also do let me know down below in the comments if you've seen them anywhere and if you do have them already. Because honestly, their appearance is a surprise. A happy one, but still a surprise. And I also feel like it is important to note that these are still Dreamtopia mermaids. It says so on the box. The box is really simple. This was 2022 and we still had Dreamtopia. Another surprise. So let's check them out individually. Starting with Miss Tori here. Her face sculpt is of course beautiful. She is Tori. And her screening is actually really great. As you can see, she has green eyes, simple makeup, pink lips, sporting a bit of a tan, and she looks really beautiful. The simple makeup actually works really well for her, and what is most surprising is that she's not pixelated one bit. For a budget doll, this is actually amazing. Her screening is completely matte, no pixelation, no shine. Now she doesn't have any accessories like a crown or earrings, so let's move on to her hair. And here we have another happy surprise. That hair seems to be saran. It is actually really soft and shiny and pretty. I truly wish it was longer, of course. However, they're still cute and it's actually good quality hair, which is amazing to me. Look at how it shines. It's a dark brown, really beautiful. Unlike other mermaids, we don't have fantasy color hair for this line, but it's fine. We love natural hair colors too. Now, her top is actually really pretty. It's one of those little crop tops that I love that has actually scales on it. It's baby blue living. And here we have 1, 2, 3 shells actually. And a little pearly, I guess, strap going on around her neck. Really simple, but really beautiful. And here you can see how it looks from the back, scales, and the Barbie logo. Quite cute. Okay, moving on to her tail. We can see that it has a little sort of belt here, although it's not painted on, so you can't see it very well maybe. And we have this sort of draping design going on, kind of like a little curtain with some beads here. Some of them are painted purple and the rest of them is blue like the rest of the tail. I'm not sure how I feel about this. I think I would have preferred if it was all scales. However, it's still really subtle and I don't mind it. Now again, her tail is a beautiful blue and her fin is a new design we haven't seen prior to this line. Really beautiful in baby blue. It's fish-like, quite simple, not many adornments, and as a mermaid lover, I really truly appreciate that. Okay, moving on to Asha. Look at this beautiful queen. Such a treat to see again. Asha was regularly used as Christie, and actually, even though the 90s Christie face mold is my favorite, this is the face mold of the Christies I grew up with, so I really love it very much, and I love seeing it. This was the early 2000s Christie mold, and I think she's gorgeous. So as you can imagine, I am really happy to see it. Now, her screening, again, very simple, nothing crazy in terms of makeup, very neutral. We may have like a hint of eyeliner, but that's it. She has beautiful brown eyes and a neutral shade of lipstick, which we love. I mean, her face is really gorgeous, doesn't need much. But again, what is really interesting to me, no sign of pixelation, no sign of shine or that, that shininess, with the pixels, nothing. This is completely matte, really beautiful and high quality screening. This is surprising me. 2 out of 2 so far. Look at how stunning she looks and so sweet. Her expression is so calm. I really love her. Now, like Tori, she doesn't have any other accessories, so let's move on to the hair. Again, wow, look at how that hair shines. It's black, it's shiny, it's beautiful, and it is, again, saran. Okay, what's going on with the budget dolls? This is saran hair. It feels really soft to the touch, amazing. Obviously, with her too, I would have preferred it if it was longer because she's a mermaid, but look at the shine, so beautiful. Okay, with some of these things, I really live. Now moving down to her top, it's the same top as Tori. Again, they all have the same top. This one is in a Barbie pink shade, really beautiful. And then moving further down, we can see that she has pink draping going on, and then the rest of her tail is purple. I love the combo of pinks and purples, so of course she is one of my favorites. And then we have again this beautiful fin in a lavender shade. So beautiful. Okay, and now it's time to check out our girl Millie. Now Millie is the only modern sculpt in this line, which is great for me. I like Millie, but of course I do appreciate the vintage face sculpt, so yeah. Honestly, if she was superstar, this line would have been a dream. Anyway, it is Millie, so let's check her out. Again, she does have the standard Millie screening, nothing new. This is it. She has some peachy lipstick, and I feel like I can see a touch of blushing. It is worth noting that, unfortunately, as always, Millie is pixelated, and she does have like that sort of shine that comes with the pixelated screening. So yeah, as you can see here, it is the same pixelation we usually have for Millie. It's not too bad. I've seen way worse, so it's still kind of a win, but still, it's Millie. I don't know what it is with Millie. She always gets the short end of the stick. I don't know why, but yeah, she always have some sort of pixelation going on, even though the other two girls have none. Anyway, who knows? The hair, however, we at least have that. The hair is super soft, and I believe it is saran. It is very shiny, as you can see, as with the other girls, which we appreciate, and it feels really, really soft to the touch and high quality. We love to see that. Again, would have been nice if it was longer, but still. Moving down to her top, this girl has a bubblegum pink top, which I'm not mad about at all. I love this shade. It's really pretty. Her draping is a beautiful seafoam blue, and the rest of her tail is actually hot Barbie pink. And then we have her beautiful fin, which is baby pink. And I am really happy about that as someone who likes pastels. I love how all of the fins are a little bit more in the pastel side, so yay for that. Now, another thing that I believe is important to touch upon is the fact that these girls cannot sit. There is no articulation at the waist, so they can't sit like the other Dreamtopia or core mermaids. It is what it is. They are supposed to be the budget version, so I'm really not mad about that. And we did have like even vintage 90s mermaids that couldn't sit with a plastic tail, so that doesn't bother me too much. Their arms are articulated and can rotate all the way and every which way, which is great. And yeah, these are our mermaids. Now, I feel the need to do a little comparison, however, because I've seen many great traits in these mermaids, and some that are, of course, expected for a budget doll. But do I believe that they should be priced like the same as the core mermaids, the series with the Odile, which I've done a video about, or even the previous Dreamtopia wave? I'm not so sure, so I think we'll be doing a little comparison. Okay, first of all, let's start with the packaging. As you can see, this packaging is much simpler than this one, of course, and actually much slimmer. I believe because the fins are slimmer, so it makes sense. And then at the bottom, we can still see that the whole box is slimmer, but we also don't have like any sort of art going on. It just says Barbie here. We do have some seat design going on in the back, but that's pretty much it. At the back of the packaging, even though here we have a photo of all 4 mermaids of the line, here we have none, but we still have the Dreamtopia logo because this one is an older doll. So yeah, you can really clearly tell that this one is meant to be a budget version. Now, when it comes to the dolls themselves, we can clearly also see some differences. First of all, this Odile mermaid from the core series is much taller, which means she has a taller fin. As evident here, obviously we can see that there was more work put into this fin rather than this one. Still, however, they both are cute and they're both made from the same material actually. So it's just a matter of sizing basically. And maybe even that here we have some transparency, but that's it. Now, going around to their waists, here is where we see bigger differences. This girl is articulated at the waist, which means she can sit, while this girl isn't. Also, we don't have any of these adornments here. I don't know what's up with that. They both have painted on tops, however, it's important to note. Although, of course, Odile's is much more elaborate. Both of them are equally pretty. Now, another major difference that I actually hadn't noticed when I first did my video with these girls. Odile's this torso is actually the torso of the early 2000s mermaids. Like, it has the belly button shape, which I hadn't noticed when I first got them, and it was a great surprise when I found out later on. Now, this girl's torso is really different. It's much more of the modern torso for Barbie. So yeah, there is that. We unfortunately do not have this beautiful torso, but another similarity is their arm articulation. Thankfully, both mermaids can rotate their arms in full, which is great. Now, finishing up our comparison, we can see that the Odile girl does have some sort of a crown or, hair decoration. This girl doesn't have any additional accessories. But one thing I have to admit took me by surprise is actually their screenings. And saran hair, of course. Even though the core mermaids with the Odile screenings are much more elaborate, of course, when it comes to makeup and stuff, I gotta admit that they have the pixelated screening. Now, our budget mermaids, though, don't have that. They have the good screening. It's completely matte, no shiningness at all, or pixelation. That, to me, quality-wise, is a really interesting choice. So I guess when you have something more elaborate to do, I'm guessing there are some budget cuts. So yeah, maybe that's why. Still, really interesting thing to note. Okay, back to our beautiful Mers at hand. My thoughts after seeing all of them. There are some really good qualities and there are some iffy qualities. However, overall, for OPP dolls and mermaids, I think they are quite amazing actually. They look so pretty all together. They're much more simple, of course, than their counterparts, but still really cute. Like, if you love mermaids, I think you'll love these. At least I do. But,
and it's a big but,
I'm actually really curious if you have them like close to you or at any stores around your area. Please tell me if these mermaids cost the same as, for example, the Odile mermaids. I would be really curious to know. Because yes, I do agree that they have some fantastic qualities like saran hair and really great screening, except for Millie, of course. Those beautiful vintage faces like we mentioned. They are really beautiful and I definitely think you should have them if you are a mermaid collector especially. But they're still supposed to be like the budget versions, something affordable that we can all get, so this is quite interesting to me. Anyway, now that we've seen them all, I still really love them. I'll try doing a little arm customization, to give them that beautiful vibe I always like to do lately, and maybe even some accessories, and then we'll take a final closer look of these beauties. So let's go! Okay everyone, that was simply mermazing. Also sorry for my change of wand, but the other one had a little malfunction, so we'll go with this one now. I am so in love with all of them, and look at how with just a few simple changes, like adjusting their arm poses and adding some crowns, they truly shined. I also did my best to give them vintage crowns to match their beautiful vintage faces, for these two at least. I mean, not how Asha is wearing the Fairytopia Magical Mermaid crown, the pink of course, but her Magical Mermaid Asha sister was wearing the same crown back in 2004, just in yellow. Overall, I'm really happy that I got them and with how they turned out. They had to be in my collection, especially considering what a great treat for us collectors is the fact that they have these beautiful vintage faces, Asha and Tori. As per usual, I cannot pick just one as my favorite because I literally love so many things on all of them. I love the color schemes, the designs, the faces, and I'm also surprised by the hair quality and their amazing screenings. The screening quality is amazing. Like I said, I did not expect that. Saran hair and non-pixelated faces, except for poor Millie of course. But I'm really eager to hear all of your opinions down below in the comments. Do you like these mirrors? Are they available where you are? Have you gotten them or do you plan on getting them? And who is your favorite? Let me know. As for the pricing issue I mentioned earlier, I believe it's important to remember that these were originally released back in 2022, so I guess we can blame inflation. Nonetheless, I think these are just fantastic. I love them, and at the end of the day, I am so pleased to have added them to my mermaid collection, which has significantly grown actually thanks to all the exquisite mermaids we've been getting lately. And with that, thank you all so much for watching. If you want to see more content with these fabulous gals, don't forget to follow me on my Instagram and on my Dostagram right here. And if you did enjoy this video, also don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to know every time I upload a new one. Thank you again all so much for watching, and until next time, do all the things you love. Enjoy your mermaid dolls, embrace all your mermaid dreams and fantasies, and of course, keep a positive attitude because it really does change everything. Peace!